Hello guys, my name is Jean-Yann and I'm going to show you how I did this car animation. It's a beginner level, so don't worry, it's going to be very easy. First of all, you need a car. I'm using this car from my good friend. I am putting the link in the description. I think his cars are one of the best cars of the market. The texture is great, the material is great, the model is great. So and they come already rigged. So don't hesitate to check the link in the description. But of course, you can use a car of your own, or you can use a free car, for example, using a Blender kit. Let me show you how you can install Blender kit. Just click on Edit, then Preferences, Add-ons, and here you look for Blender, and you will see this add-on. The name is Blender Kit Online Asset Library, and you just activate it by ticking the box. Once you activate the add-on, you will find it here on the side. You check the box free only. And here on the top, you select models, if it's not already the case. And for example, you can select car. You can type car, sorry. So Blender Kit is searching. As you can see, you have many free models, and some of them are very good looking for a free car. Let's take the Corvette. Okay, the Corvette is here. Let's move my car and see that you have now a free car available to follow along. Of course, the final results, the realism of the video depends of the model of your car. I think the one from my friend is a little bit better, but you have the choice to follow with a free car. And I'm sure that the animation that we'll do with this car will be pretty decent and pretty good also. Okay, so let's delete this one and we come back with this car. Now we are going to add an HDRI to the scene. And I'm doing this using the add-on HDRI Maker. It's a very great add-on. Why? Because first of all, it comes with 400 HDRI plus 400 HDRI in 8Ks. One of the most important options I'm going to show you now. Let's select an HDRI first. Let's take the HDRI I use in the video. So I think it was in Open Plane. Yes, Freight Station. I choose 8K and then add it to the scene. To see the HDRI, we have to go in render mode. Okay, now you can see the HDRI and the lights and the background. As you can see, we can already tell that the model is a great model because we have very good reflection on it and it looks very realistic. And the issue we have with all the HDRI we are manipulating, it's very hard to put the car on the floor, and when we manage to do so, it's very hard to move it. So what great option with the HDRI Maker is here in the background controls, you have an option. Let me do that. If you click on HDRI projected, you will see that it will create a dome and then with it a floor. As you can see, there is a dome now and you have your car directly on the floor, which is great because now it looks integrated in the scene. Let me scale it up a little bit. And I'm going to rotate it like that. Yes. Maybe scale it a little bit more. Like that. Okay. So now already, just by clicking one button, HDRI projected, I have a pretty cool scene. Let's put the camera on the right place. Like this. Maybe I zoom a little bit. With the sun behind, looks cool. Let me render this. As you can see, with only a few clicks, we already have a pretty decent scene. One of the issues that I have now is here, the shadows or the lights are not properly reflected. So we have to create a ground to fix this. Okay, now to fix this light issue, what we're going to do is we're going to add a plane. So Shift A, Mesh, Plane. We're going to scale it, maybe 16 times. So S16. Okay, that's enough. Now that we have this plane, we can see that the shadows are correct under the wheels. But the issue we have is that now we have a white plane. So what we have to do now, you go in a projection menu, you tick projection menu, and then you click on add ground. What we will do is putting the texture of the ground on the plane we just created. So now, if I go back in the camera mode and I render my scene again, and now we can see that you have good shadows under the car and under the wheels. And depending of the angle of your camera, you might face the same issue than me. Here, for example, you can see that the dome is too small because I can see the difference between the real HDRI and the dome created. So to fix that, you can lower the size of the dome, or you can raise the size. For me, it's working better when I raise the size. So I go, for example, to 280 for the size of the dome. And now you see that the issue is fixed. We don't have this overlapping issue. Okay, now before we take care of the camera animation, we have to choose a focus point because we want a depth of field in our scene. So in order to do so, you will click on camera and you will check the box depth of field here. As you can see, we have to select a distance for the depth of field or focus an object. I think it's more easier to focus an object. Also, before we decide which object to focus, let's change the f-stop to 1.8 and the blades to 6. The lower value you put for the f-stops and more depth of field you will have in your scene. So now I'm going to create a focus point. So I go in empty and plane axis. Okay, my empty is here. I'm going to move it. So G Shift Z. I'm going to move it here. Yep. I'm going to position the plane, the empty, where I need it to be. So I would like it to be on the front of the car. So it looks okay here. So now I have my empty at the right place. I can go back in camera and click on the camera icon. The focal length is 50. I think it's good for what we want to do. Now in focus object, I can type empty. And now I know that the camera will be focused on the empty. The good thing when you use an empty is that if you want, you can animate it. So if I move the empty around and I ask my camera to always focus the empty, the camera will follow the empty animation. Okay, now we can deal with the camera animation, and there are several ways to animate the camera, but I think one easy way is to use the walk navigation in camera mode. So first of all, let me show you how you can assign a shortcut to the walk navigation. So you click on View, Navigation, Walk Navigation, right click, and then you assign a shortcut. For me, it's Shift F. Of course, you can use any shortcut you want. Okay, let me show you how you can use this. Okay, I press O to go in camera mode, and then I press Shift F to activate the walk navigation. And now you have to move like in a video game. You just press WASD in order to move your camera. And the cool thing when you do that is the movement is very organic, and it will feel like someone is carrying a camera around the car. Of course, the animation is not smooth yet, and we're going to deal with that later. Okay, now I'm happy with the angle that I have. You can raise the camera a little bit. No, this. Let me test. Yeah, it's cool. Okay, now I go back. And what I like to do is to raise the number of frames to 1000. Of course, we're not going to render 1000 frames, but it's just to give us the choice when we do the animation. You will understand why in a few seconds. Okay, so let me show you how you can record those keyframes. Okay, now how to record the animation. You have to activate the auto keying. you will press spacebar and then Shift F to record all the keyframes. I click here on the camera. Okay, let's do that. Spacebar and then Shift F. And now you can move around the car. It's okay if it's not smooth, it's again, because we will deal with that later. So you can do the animation you want. Maybe you can go from there, and then you go like this, go around, and you go. Okay, I think we got what we need for this. So spacebar again to stop and deactivate the auto keying. And now when you look at your animation, you will see that you already have an organic animation ready. Of course, it's very choppy and we have to smooth everything. So what we are going to do is we are going to have another window here. And in this other window, you go in Graph Editor. You select all the keyframe by pressing A. And first of all, we have to fill the gaps because maybe here I can see that there are some keyframes missing. So you go in a key and sample keyframes. Okay, so now we have keyframes everywhere. And as I showed you, the animation is not very smooth. But now, if I go in key and press Alt-O, if it's not enough, I can do it again. And now, very, very smooth and very easy, as you can see. Now that everything is very smooth, I can select the part of the video that I want to render. So I like this part. Yeah, I like this part a lot. So let me start maybe at frame 560. Yep. I like this. Okay, cool. So let me stop at 660. So 100 frame. And as you can see, it was very easy to set up the camera animation. Just go work navigation and you smooth everything. Yep. So let me render this animation and we see how it looks. Okay, now I have the render animation ready, but of course I forgot to press motion blur. So I'm very sorry for this, guys, because I'm not going to render it again. It takes too much time. So just don't do like me. Don't forget to press motion blur for your animation. So let's go back in DaVinci Resolve. So here the results after I put some grading on the car. So it's okay, but without motion blur, it's not as good as it should be. So here, just to show you with motion blur, this is the original video. The only difference is that I have the motion blur enabled, and you will see that it's more smooth. Okay, so once again, don't do like me. Don't forget to press motion blur. Okay, now we will see how I did the car animation, and for that we are going to use the rig on the car. This rig is completely free, so I will put the link in the description. So, and I will also put the tutorial link to install this rig on your car. And I did promise you a surprise at the beginning of the video, and the surprise is this car already rigged. This model is not from me. This model is from Alex38 on the website free3d.com. So thanks to Alex38. And what I did is I added the rig on the car so you can follow along. And also it's a good thing to have this model already rigged, because if you want to apply this rig on your own car, now at least you have an example already and correctly rigged. And I think this rig is great. First of all, because it's a free rig, of course. And also when I go in pause mode, I select the rig and I go in pause mode. So you can select here pause mode. As you can see, you can control anything on your car. You can control the steering. You can control the suspension here. And you can control each suspension individually. And of course, you can control the wheels, sorry, and the brakes. So, and also you can make a drift effect with the car. Okay, let's go back to our model. Okay, first of all, I'm going to hide the dome and also the plane, so we have a better view. I'm going to animate the car. We are going to add a curve path, and we are going to use this path to move the car. Okay, this path is here. Let me rotate it, and I will do a rotation on the Z-axis. I think 90. I'm gonna scale it like this. I don't need a lot more. Okay. One thing also, I don't need 1000 frame anymore. So I think I will go with 96. Will be enough. And now we are going to put the car on the path. So to do so, you are going to go in object pose mode. Sorry, you select the rig, and then you go in pose mode. You click on the rig. Okay, this blue line, and here you go on the icon bone constraint properties, and you add a constraint. We are going to add a follow path constraint, and we want it on the path 001 we just created. Okay, now we are going to click on a fixed position because we want it to go from 0 to 1, and follow curve. And that's perfect. So the car is correctly placed. Let's see now if I do 0 to 1. Okay, I think the distance is enough for our animation. So first of all, I'm going to go in a frame. I'm going on frame 1. On of the offset factor, I will press I, so add a keyframe at one frame. And then, for example, I will go on frame 50, and I will move my car to 1, and then press I again. So if I test that, okay, my car is moving. For the interpolation mode, I will choose Bezier, but I think it's the mode by default, so it's okay. Okay, because I want the car to slightly brake before stopping. So I think Bezier works well for this animation. What I'm going to do, I'm going to position my camera at the end of the animation. So let me do this. Control Alt 0, just to position my camera where I want. I'm going to zoom a little bit, maybe like this. Okay. Okay, something like this. Maybe just lower it a bit. Okay. So let's see. Yep, it's good for me. Maybe it's a little bit too fast. So I'm gonna give it maybe some more keyframe. I will go to 70. Let's see. Yep, sounds good. Maybe a little bit more. I go to 80. Yep, like that. Okay. So now what you can do if you have this add-on installed, the RigoCar add-on, you can click on RigoCar here, and you can click on bake car steering until frame 80. Okay, that's correct. I click OK. There's no steering to animate, so that's normal. And then for the wheels, I click 1 to 80 and I click OK. And now, as you can see, it's automatically adding keyframes. If I look at it again, let me get rid of this. And I see now the wheels are correctly animated. That's perfect. Okay, so that's good for the first part of the animation. Now we are going to see how we can play with the suspension to give a more natural look to the car brake. So now for the final brake and the suspension animation, we are going to use, if you have the ring installed, you are going to use this controller. If I press J, I can see that I can move the suspension of the car, the front suspension and the rear suspension. So if I go back in camera mode, let me look at the animation again. Okay, so I think it's good if we start to move the suspension. I'm sorry, I think it's good if we start to move the suspension 5 frames before the stop, before the car stops. So I go on frame number 75 because I know that the car is stopping at frame 80. So at frame 75, I just have the controller selected. That's good. I'm gonna add a keyframe. Let me just check that I'm location, rotation, and scale. That's perfect. So now I go on Y and I press a keyframe here. And actually, let me look at the rings. Yeah, it's locked. So I can see only this controller animation, only these controller keyframes are there. And I said 5. Okay, at 5, I'm gonna add another keyframe. But because I didn't change the Y, it's still 0, so it's writing this line. So I'm gonna change the Y, no, in front of the car, so it's minus something. Okay, let's try this. Oh wait, I forgot to press minus, but I have to press I again. Okay, to record the keyframe I selected, the value I selected. Okay, now I see that it's way too much. It's way too much. So I think I go minus maybe 0.1. Okay, I think it's too much again. Still too much. Wait, and I forgot to press I again. So I. Yeah, it's a little bit too much. So let's try minus 0.04. And again, I forgot to press I. Sorry, guys. And I. Okay, I think it's much more subtle, but I think it's working. Yep, the car is slightly, the suspension has slightly animated. So now I imagine that because we were going in front, we have to go on the back now, on the back suspension, I mean the back animation. So because the first one is 5 frame in the law of physics, I imagine that there will be less frame for the inverse movement. So maybe we can use 4 frame. So from 80 we can go to 80, 84, and here add another keyframe. So now I know it's going to be positive value. So how much, I'm not sure. Let's see, 0.2. Okay, looks okay to me. But I don't think we should stop here because there's something off with the animation. I think we should continue to animate it a little bit. So here we add 4 frames, and again, because of the law of physics, it should be less frame now. So we were at 84. So let's say now we go at 86, 2 frames. And now we have to go in the negative value again. So maybe slight animation like this. So that's not bad at all. Of course, it's according to you. If if you want to change the 004 to something much higher, you can still do it, but as you can see, there's something. I think it's a little bit too much, but it's up to your taste. For me, I prefer something more subtle, so I will go for -004. And let me test again. Wait, oh, I forgot again to press I. So -004 I. Okay, and I just realized that I forgot to press the start VR. Sorry, guys. Okay, so now we have this. So the value is -005. I think I will do maybe another one, so 2 frame after in a positive value. Let's say 0, 01. And I insert a keyframe. I press I again. Let me test. Okay, sounds good. But now that I have 001, of course, I will need to go back in the initial value. So I think 1 keyframe is enough. So 88, I go to 89. So I go to 0, the initial position. So let me test again. Yep, I like it. Yeah, I like it. So I think, guys, we are going to render this. Let me just check if we have a good image before we render this, because it's going to take some time to render. Oh, what happened? Oh, okay, I forgot to activate the DOM again and the plane. Okay, nice. Wait, so I see an issue here. As you can see, I don't have any shadows under this wheel. I think it's because our plane now is too small. Yes, it's too small. So I will need to go back in object mode. Let me select the plane and I will scale the y-axis. Okay, now it's good. Okay, now we have fixed the issue and now we have a good image. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to render this animation. Concerning the render settings, what I'm doing, so my settings are cycles, of course, supported by, I have a GPU. If you have a GPU, you can use yours. You can select the GPU. For the render, I think 256 is enough. I'm using the denoiser NLM, and I'm also using the denoiser, sorry, in the layer properties. I'm using this denoiser also. And because we have a GPU in performance tab, we should raise the tiles size to 512. Okay, this is the setting I use for the render. Okay, guys, let's see how it works. I'm going to render the scene. So here the final animation, of course with motion blur activated. Don't forget, like me, so you won't have to restart again like I did. And I did some tweaking in DaVinci Resolve and some color grading on the scene. So here the final result. So as you can see, it was not difficult at all. I'm very sorry if the tutorial was a little bit long, but I wanted to give a maximum of information. I'm also very sorry for my bad English, but I'm trying to improve. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. I'm not covering the second part of the video because I think I gave you all the elements to do so. But of course, if you have questions on the second part, don't hesitate. I will be happy to see what you have done on your side. And thanks again for following the tutorial, and see you soon, guys.